Good morning, students. Welcome back to online class. Today we are going to discuss the continuation of the first lesson, theory of errors. The basic of all experimental science and technology is measurement. Already we know that one, isn't it? The result obtained from any measurement will contain some uncertainty. Such an uncertainty is termed as error. Any calculation made using the measured values will also have an error. It is not possible to make exact measurements in an experiment. In measurements, two different terms, the terms are accuracy and precision, are used and need to be distinguished at this stage. So, what is accuracy? A measure of how close the measured value is to the true value of the quantity is called as what? Accuracy. How it is very close to the measured value to the true value of the quantity. Then precision. A closeness of two or more measured values to each other. This is called as what? A precision. Now let us see the examples of accuracy and precision. How to remember accuracy and precision? Accurate is correct. Accurate is what? Correct value. Then precise is repeating. See here, the R is a capital R is used here, no? S means for repeating, hitting the same spot but may not be the correct spot. So what is accurate? Accurate is for correct value and precise is depends upon the repeating values. Okay, now let us consider, you know your true height is exactly 5.9 inches. You first measure your height with the yardstick and get the value 5 inches. Your measurement is hence not accurate because the exact height is 5.9 inches, isn't it? But you measure the height with the yardstick and get the value is 5 inches. So your measurement is hence not accurate. Now you measure your height with a laser yardstick and you get 5.9 inches as the value. So now your measurement is accurate. So what is accurate here? The measured value is same for the true value. This is only is taken as the accuracy or in the accurate. The true value is also called theoretical value. Now let us move on to the example for precision. If you consistently measure your height as 5 inches, the true value is 5.9 inches, but consistently measure your height as 5 inches with the yardstick, your measurements are precise. The level of precision required for different applications vary to a great extent. So, if a measurement is precise, that does not necessarily mean that it is accurate. However, if the measurement is consistently accurate, it is also precise. Suppose you have to measure your height with the help of the yardstick. It gives the same reading, that is 5 inches like that. So this values we have to take as what? The precise reading. And let us move on to one more example. If the temperature outside a building is 40 degrees Celsius. So the outside building temperature is what? 40 degrees Celsius as measured by a weather thermometer. And if the real outside temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. So the measured value is taken as a 40 degrees Celsius. the actual value of the outside temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, the thermometer is accurate. If the thermometer consistently registers this exact temperatures in a row. So again you have to measure the temperature, the outside building temperature. It shows 40 degrees Celsius. Again it gives 40 degrees Celsius. The readings are tabulated. It gives the same value only is needed. So now the thermometer is precise. Do you understand the difference between the accurate and precise? So the real outside temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. The temperature measured the the thermometer measures the same temperature 40 degrees Celsius. Now the thermometer is accurate. And again the thermometer consistently registers this exact temperature in a row. The readings are tabulated. It gives the same value only. Now the thermometer is precise. Now let us move on to the one more example. Consider the temperature of a refrigerator repeatedly measured by a thermometer by given as a 10.4 degrees Celsius, a 10.2 degrees Celsius, then 10.3 degrees Celsius, then 10.1 degrees Celsius, then 10.1 degrees Celsius, 10.1 degrees Celsius, like that. However, if the real temperature inside the refrigerator is 9 degrees Celsius, so the temperature of the refrigerator measured by the thermometer, it shows the readings like that: 10.4 degrees Celsius, 10.2 degrees Celsius, 10.3 degrees Celsius, 10.1 degrees Celsius, or 10.1 degrees Celsius, like that. But the real temperature inside the refrigerator is what? 9 degrees Celsius. So we can say that the thermometer is not accurate because it's less than 1 degree Celsius is needed. So the thermometer is not the accurate. But since all the measured values are very close to which value? 10 degrees Celsius. Now it is precise. Now it is what? Precise. The thermometer is precise because all the readings are very close to 10 degrees Celsius. I hope you understand what is the difference between the accuracy and the precision. It's very important for physics. That's why we are explaining. Okay. Now let us move on to the one more example. The example we have to take as here, the target shooting. So the target shooting is an example which explains the difference between accuracy and precision. See the figures. The shoots are focused so as to reach the midpoint, but the arrows have reached only around this point, that is the center point. Hence the shots are not accurate and also not precise. And see the next diagram also, that is the next figure also. All the arrows are very close to each other but not at the central point. So this is called as what? Poor accuracy but good precision. And see the next figure also. Here all the arrows are very closer and also at the central point. So this is called as what? Good accuracy and good precision. I hope you understand, ma'am. So this is the first figure and this is the second figure, and we have to take as this is the third figure. Okay. So the first figure, here the arrows are focused so as to reach the midpoint, but the arrows has reached only around this point only. It's not in the exact point. So this is called as what? Poor accuracy and poor precisions. In the second figure, all the arrows are very close to each other but not at the central point. So this is taken as what? Poor accuracy but good precision. And third figure, all the arrows are closer and also at the central point. Hence, here both precise and accurate. Good accuracy and good precision. Okay, now let us move on to errors in measurement. The uncertainty in a measurement is called an error. What is error? The uncertainty in a measurement is called an error. The errors are classified in three types: random error, systematic error, and gross error. So first let us move on to the explanation of the types of errors. The first error, systematic errors. Systematic errors are reproducible inaccuracies that are consistently in the same direction. These occur often due to a problem that persists throughout the experiment. Systematic errors can be classified as follows. The first one is instrumental errors. Second one, imperfections in experimental technique or procedure. Third one, personal errors. Fourth one, errors due to external causes. Fifth one, least count error. Now let us discuss instrumental errors. When an instrument is not calibrated properly at the time of manufacture. So instrumental errors may arise. So what do you mean by instrumental errors? When an instrument is not calibrated properly at the time of manufacture. This is a manufacturing defect is needed. So these errors may arise. If a measurement is made with a meter scale whose end is worn out, so the result obtained will have errors. These errors can be corrected by choosing the instrument carefully. This is the instrumental errors. Now let us see the second type, imperfections in experimental technique or procedure. These errors arise due to the limitations in the experimental arrangement. For example, while performing experiments with a calorimeter, if there is no proper insulation, there will be a radiation losses is needed. So this results in errors, and to overcome these necessary corrections has to be applied. So this error only is taken as what? Imperfections in experimental technique or in the procedures. And third one, personal errors. These errors are due to individuals performing the experiment. Maybe due to incorrect initial setting up of the experiment or carelessness of the individual making the observations due to improper precautions. It's a personal error. And fourth one, errors due to external causes. The change in the external conditions during an experiment can cause error in measurement. These errors are called as external causes. For example, changes in temperature, humidity, or pressure during measurements may affect the result of the measurement. These errors are called as what? Errors due to external causes. And last one, least count error. Least count is the smallest value. Already we know that one is needed. That can be measured by the measuring instrument. And the error due to this measurement is least count error. The instrument's resolution hence is the cause of this error. Least count error can be reduced by using a high precision instrument for the measurement. So the least value of the instrument only is called as what? Least count. Already we know this one. So how can we reduce the least count error? High precision instruments we can use. Okay. And let us move on to the second type, random errors. Random errors may arise due to random unpredictable variations in experimental conditions like pressure, temperature, voltage supply, etc. Errors may also be due to personal errors by the observer who performs the experiment. So the random errors are sometimes called chance error. When you have to do the experiment, different readings are obtained by a person every time he repeats the experiment personal errors occurs. For example, consider the case of the thickness of a wire measured using a screw gauge. The readings taken may be different for different trials. In this case, a large number of measurements are made and then arithmetic mean is taken. So, arithmetic mean is nothing but average. Let us consider n number of trial readings are taken in an experiment. And the readings are A1, A2, A3 up to A suffix n. The arithmetic mean we can write A suffix m is equal to, that is A suffix m is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus up to An is divided by n. Otherwise, we can write in the summation format A suffix m is equal to 1 by n summation I is equal to 1 to n A suffix I. Usually, this arithmetic mean is taken as the best possible true value of the quantity. Okay, so the next type is taken as a gross errors. The error caused due to the sheer carelessness of an observer is called gross error. For example, reading an instrument without setting it properly. So, improper setting. And second one, taking observations in a wrong manner without bothering about the sources of errors and the precautions. Third one, recording wrong observations. And fourth one, using wrong values of the observations in calculations. So this kind of the error is taken as gross errors. I hope you understand what are the types of errors in measurements. These errors can be minimized only when an observer is careful and mentally alert. Afterwards only we can avoid this kind of the errors. Okay. Now let us move on to certain procedures to be followed to minimize experimental errors. See for example, random error. Suppose you measure the mass of a ring 3 times using the same balance and get slightly different values. That is 15.46 gram, 15.42 gram and 15.44 gram. So how to minimize it? Take more data, and random errors can be evaluated through statistical analysis and can be reduced by averaging over a large number of the observations. So how we can minimize the random errors? Take more data and afterwards take the average value. So we can minimize the random errors. And second one is the systematic error. Suppose the cloth tape measure that you used to measure the length of an object has been stretched out from years of use. As a result, all of the length measurements are not correct. So how to minimize it? Systematic errors are difficult to detect and cannot be analyzed statistically because all of the data is in the same directions, either too high or too low. So this is taken as a systematic errors only. It's one of the important 5-mark question. Write the types of errors. Okay, explain the types of errors. I hope you might have understood what and all we have discussed in this video. Thank you.